Adeshima mama munyina jo ema makwaba ene enwumre ediba eye TV SYZ Gumbe Show ena yasesa ne fefefa ene enwumre eye September abosume ne de tosu mienu wo mfimpi mienu ene aduonu bakomo yede ebrewo medi edi Mugabe Masi ubetimi afreme atankolega biga na ne yaba besi nkonya ne yaba bedi nkomoyi ensam de ebi ewo yie papa sanse ensam a ene yede eba no ano ehye papa frewunua no ono so fra na danfo no fra ne wo fa na wo fra ne maame no wo ka se wo hwe ye live ewo TV SYZ Ghana enu ye Facebook live baby bia wo mo amwo America mo amwo Germany mo amwo France mo amwo Belgium mo amwo Italy mo amu ehwe live ewo America eye TV SYZ Ghana be bia wo bia fe oni ase ene Gumbe Show na Mugabe ede ba no ano edin na evidence based enye ma bia ye beka bia no ye beyi hu mfonyi no hu de ekoso na eneyi yesi nkonya ya ye ba enwumre yi ensam ne de ano edin ye papa Professor ye for se Patrick ya Lumumba wakasa na okasa ye no so no wone nanado ene Ghana for ena okasa wose gidia wo nanado mu nyina no ayira sanse kata se sha proya ene amemo papa o se ode ma Ghana for no enya ade se watumi ama eye Ghana for wo bete ho nsem we eye video evidence se tumira ne eye de ne ya kiresie eye the leader and flag bearer of the United Progressive Party ya your friend say eye odike nei odike wakan ho ya chese ensema wade atudwade ene eye asem kese papa ya eneyi yebeduso mu nyina wade sasem no atudwa o dwaba so dwumadia na enua ohene babo amabene eti akonya kase no mo bete ho ensem yenua no ma so wo eye jomoro ewo Nzemaland in the Western region of the Republic of Ghana and that day omo aye ye cherekase pa open our borders na ho nsem so no ye member of parliament who from the Doctors Afo Joe Toffee mo bete ono so ensem a wode atudwa for border aban emie sa so ena ye de ani akire eye Germany a AstraZeneca and ye vaccines amuako ata baby a wobi a mekire wagimamanu so mekiawo agimamanu dia na kokofa ba comfortacha moye chi no we dia foforo kwa ananado akwaje foforo a wode ba na yese 1.5 million wode ba na tie di wo mu sa eye nu ananado ba se yefam wo ye no ebi ma wo mienu so still a covid na chi wo mu wo ten kura still covid no betimi anya sansa sa nu no Germany for kura a suspend ya omo jai so mo fa enwo ma de hyebium iti egu ho omo hu de omo de beye so mo fa 1.2 o so mo fa 1 kura o na na de kodu Germany a wo so wope ti ye fa ma no ya chechiri ni nyina ma ne de aba Ghana ne de aba wo Ghana adehye ya suspend ewo Germany na su Ghana for de yesi ye pe ho nsem nyina no mo bete ne ene anwumre sa so na opanyin France Professor eye anin opanyin ye ka eye kwase anina na chese oye security expert when say ma odi atudwa say de crime about be profitable venture in this country wo be say wunya adwuma wo be yes kania and chese crime awudie any idea under this government edi awurisi ye papa na ni nyina so no wo hwe CAD omo report omo de aba abonten Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service sendi pa Uma sure mo enkwa murder cases 313 emu be 360 there uma sure mo nkwa e wo Ghana ene America for ebo ma de hye kokko se omo nam ba bi a omo hweyi enkankanka ene chebi se se wo chebi de ho de e ya de ho hu yie papa na de kurom chebi se ho wo chehene na sa se su chebi ye se ho ya de ho hu yie papa ene yi kwawu tafo e ya de se su ato ama ayiri afa nurses for omo edan a ewo nurse quarters ewo nkwawu tafo nsu ayiri afa ho nyina ama enibre pa ana asi eye kwawu tafo ewo epoye matam we nyina eyensama wodo a ena anwumre yade ebra wona anwumre ye ba besi konya ne atrase bamba ho nsam ene ade a esi ene so kase pa ene anwumre nti ene security analyst ya friend say doctor eye Sule Ibrahim wono ene na anwumre yene no eba ba twetwenkomo oye opanyi bi a wakodare ewo bambo mu yie papa Dr. Sule Ibrahim oye security analyst woni ne ene eba twetwe enkomo aseda kase enkomo Prego engineering Victory Garlic Misa Solar Natural Clinic the Prosafret capsules Zipman capsules and a Solar Misa and a Eboy and anwumre Nisma FinanceAmenkancho so we are buying Juma wakati for control and accountant general department obema obesia edi ujuma womo ewo dome born again basop wa woni Mazaya Methodist Church no na edi enhwani mu womo nyina dawo no matachire dendende osek real estate asase wo pass aseato dodowa ene ne patamu nyina no womo number 1 ya se wo de ho ekoda wo ma asase a wobenya ato no masun bia ene so jumako nyina dawo ma ene dodo ka ho natural mineral water so taachi jumako wo do makomako enson ene nwumre yi womo taachi atumi di dwumadie ede ebrewo midin ade Mugabe Mase obetimi afremi atankorega biga yenua aboaje ene direct ene mase we fa Tempia producer na kasankasa Kevin Asante one an assistant Desmo Suwa DS and production team Kofi the boy na wa me buy HSA make up no obana che Kofi the boy what to me SSA me kama na just say bibia ede na nakwem Ghana baby TV bia dum TV asono TVS wade ye dan ho sesi ya ne yaba ye ba ye de aka nyina e be sande ahwehwe so anwumre
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah. Always free, fresh, natural, X, mineral, water.
Still got it. Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Akwaba edeba TV SYZ Gumbe Show so yakofa aboafo nkrato sabre ya san ba yegina ya naso obia wo hwame wo amonane ewiase afona ba bia no TV SYZ mo pese mo hwe Facebook live no TV SYZ Ghana tifre wonua wo America ne se Mugabe aba wo Germany wo France wo Belgium so pese wo hwe ne live wo amonane a TV SYZ Ghana mo wo Massachusetts ene Virginia ne patamu nyina no TV SYZ Ghana afei yenyemrai na yetie ensem no emu enchechemu atakulega biga Mugabe Mase enemedin enedai aye eda yehwe ewiase afona ba bia ensu kase patampa na ato ya okopie mu ewo America memu New York a ensu atimi ato afa adehye makomako nipa makomako enkron enedai ya mekasa yi wo mahwere wo nkwa ewo New York ewo America memu njisa unua bia na obusuani bi ewo abrochire na wo America ba bia yefra se New York a enwumre fatatefon de frɛ no ne bisa ne se wo ne abusua no wo mo ho etese se nipa nkron na ahwere wo nkwa ewo ɛwɔ America memu a dodo na so prepare wo mugu ayaresabia enye asamketo akora ɛwɔ America mem ne fi America mem ebedu oman Ghana so a ensuo no ase ahomache bɛyɛ no miensa ya kyase matama wodu obɛyɛ edu ensia ni nyina ɛyade sɛ ensuo no ato ebesi sabire a ensuo yi ɛda so ɛto a asase niema bebrebe ya enya asamketo a ye de ne akyerɛ ɛyɛ kwawutafo ɛwɔ apoye matam a ensuo ato hɔ ama kyese ensuo ayiri afa nurses quarters ya ɛwɔ ɛyɛ kwawutafo apoye matam a kyese wɔhene ya wɔ hɔ nani abiriye papa pasasa nanane di card ya tudwa sasa miamia ni nyina ebabi adan ni sisie no enya ade sɛ botemamofo a wo mo wɔ ɛyɛ kwawutafo na so ka ayi wo mo amompɛ ɛyɛ kuro ni yie no wo mo anya ntoma sɛ mo da so ɛte saa bia ensuo to a samre asɔre awodo bebrebe ɛne niema bebrebe nurses quarters hɔ ni nyina tumi asɛi na nan SWZ ɛyɛ TV yɛ ka se yɛ tena hɔ TV SWZ ebete asatwefo agum no ma comment so no ma hwese nsuo na eto no areas bi ewon kran ha aflade ana asesen ene sitie yenua odafo etisi abonte so a woni amanfo etwetwe enkomo ewo traffic mu na ye hwese de nsuo na ne eto ye na hwache besi sabre a eda so guso eto yi ne esie ewon kran kro bie mu
babia hu sesia kwan a ufi kuma se ba kan ya udu Taifa Junction anase baby of boost baby of boost na ana ohu sisi no nso no ayira fa kwan no enam say ntina amakas na also mu use service lane draw ne taxi for mu use commercial cars no o mu nya do mani a kire main road so traffic na ba pe so pa cars ni ntini nya den enko enti obi a also do adwuma no ko twe no sa me onim tab odi bedu adwuma because nso no toye no nso na yira ba kwan ma kwan na si enti ade a yesre ne se ade na mpanifo ya fa saa asem na wotu mienu anasa na wotu miensan the same thing esi wa ha ama ye kan ho asem ana ne nsu asa ato asasa na si asasi bi enti de na ye mpanifo a ye de o man ahye o mu nsa eso mu nye na ye nya asomdwe ne timi enko adwuma to onta o mu ya fa saa de kesre mu ada mu nti mani mahwe kuma se Accra Road Taifa Junction na ebedu mre bi anhwe ya dachi bi ye beda sori na kwan ni mu atwa
and that's what please back because I'm almost in 20-30 minutes now in the traffic. I don't know what time I'm going to come back, please.
Enti aseme na be ka kire mpanifo a omo ye responsible for this.
And the second answer may be free. Traffic there, say about you say no, you can't tell. But the final so air back. In so to be in the same problem of our with you. Enti example the problem is. We are actually in the in so kakra to na what you know you flag. And the beginning of traffic is so now about traffic in Yaba.
Before I spoke to my operation, I bet the traffic news to mention a mundo who did my wife. It's the traffic now, so by my point, I don't know situation made there.
I'm ready to send more traffic in.
Give me a check after I do. I check after by my 100 time. By yes, I will see driver and so time. That your charge needs to be the traffic. See traffic ni jo munyo hu bi ma ya wo a enam kwan we su je ye bre pa yes ni wo bi to be esi a so ka pa na ye tu so bi ya e so mu je e me se bucket ni e won chenchen e ni mu esi kina yi ni bi ni so se so be kwa ni kwa dia so bi na ta o yes to mu je no mo wa we an ka me du di da me kwa chi mota e de di mi se 1 hour
Achimota highway is now. I would say got us not to be biggest next until our minds you know you are papa. You don't get never. Somebody traffic inside.
Yes, some other Munti money may have massive Accra Road. Then yes, a second say a car everybody I can a better once and say a car everybody.
What way another day? Yes, I train here a friend say a year or this year. Ya ye Juma boy Juma den de ma Power FM any or therefore Bechi or boy Juma papa na brate say etifo any ahwefo be kaya enra dai kotoba bi police commander oho maame a oho no o ma abrante di sensem mepa na chese enya asem ketua se abrante na akọ PNC wo national headquarters akọ cover press conference a o twa wo mo dan no wo chese o hia permit efi ni ho permission se o man kwan ansa na watimi atwa saa mfonyin no na ene adwuma oboma Ghana wonam nsuo mu tietie nsuom ya wone amanfo a traffic mo kasa abra nkranyina ba bia flood no eno de kotoba bi police commander maame na wo ho no obey study eno de wo maka kire sa abrante bra na me ma o permission ansa na wakọ akoye sa interview yenye ne yesa ne yenye ne yefata acting IGP ya no oye fine gentleman ye nyina ta na chi se wonye den wo mo na adwuma ne mom maame no kotoba bi ni maame no mo calling to order sama ye nam no odwa na num se ni busuani any chief of staff ntino onfa obi a ho ya maame chief of staff ye obi a wo bra ne ho ase ti se wodi ni din abata wodi ho a wosa wo ye ne yese ne yefata jubilee aso ne ma koyie de sama maame ne de metuche e de ma no sa se ne ho ete yakwa yanim na afei enadai ewo dwaba so dwumadie so abra wo hene babo amabene be ma ba wo firi eye sehwewie so ya chese wono de oba usu ha wogina nana so ye papa dokunu ye nyina no wono de ye wie dokunu ha wo so wono de dokunu aburu bia ne de wonpe na wono de eye gere ne adua ene kokko ene wogina ho a otimi bobe 100 Ghana ene na nya asem ketu akura na enai anopai ewo dwaba so dwumadie ane ohene babo amabene otena konya kasi no woni eye openye friend say adanimu na openye friend adanimu yi woye leader and flag bearer at the United Progressive Party na we obi a ofri adwumaka ase kese ewo asante matemu na odike betena ase yi ana ohene babusa ne say se we kata ase ene proye ya ekoso ewo mema wo so akwaye openye a wado asuko ewo amanyase mu no dian ena wo so woka efa amemu a ekoso ewo eye Ghana hey yetie sema eye akwasi adai ya dodo na friend odike media me friend wofa wodi tu dwa ewo dwaba so dwumadie so ene anope ewo power 97.9 FM.
We need gallant men to rescue this country. We need gallant men. Ah mdo mo krato. Hwe na me ka se ba konchero. Na na do on. Ya hwe ba bi o free ba. Ne background. Na ya hwe ba bi obedu ya otimi bi ebusa. Na na do o witness Kwame Nkrumah first president Nkrumah administration.
Yeah.
Nanado Papa be president of the republic. Before then, Kutukane Fifarum Ekuno or Witresibi. Ne Papa be the president of this country under the parliamentary system of government. And busy prime minister. After that, a champion regime or Witresibi. What I say? Popular Front Party, PF. Okay.
Yeah.
Nanado Mukote Party and your friend UNC. We deprive the then MPP. Mama power. Election call runoff. Nanado UNC no de ko Liman Party. It deny Vito Usu. Traditional or Kanwasem. That was what happened in 1979. What you say? And no nanchen. Nanado, why a MP? Our Chuma Buakwa.
Yeah.
For 12 years. Why Attorney General? What about foreign minister, right? What's a flag bearer for MPP 8 years? And Sana says, what about power? We'll try first. Some of us, we thought, say, the experience under his sleeves, our Ghana will be used to bear.
No.
Eti ubetimi pa treme and sakraya abagana in terms of morality, in terms of protecting the public purse, in terms of widespread corruption. Fato to other government abano. Nekache me say we are better off now.
Nanado the corruption.
Na muza nanado bet makasa I am incorruptible bet makam. Obet ma via nyankopon boss so e bo asase. Ye nyina ye timu bi say nanado bet me agada the momentum and the courage to tell the Almighty God and Ghanaians say I am still incorruptible. Nanado bet me use away.
Now so bet to me ahwe nanado anim any trade yampanyame ni makasa nanado ye corrupt.
Were the most corrupt president ever.
President Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
the most corrupt president ever
in the history of Ghana.
Say, dear Suna Wujina, what the Casa one the most corrupt president ever in the history of Ghana.
Mamusa, one simple question. Now Dubai, say me, Adia Bakupa, the environment in Ghana, as I say, leader Biaba corruption.
What? When we have for a year, Quesia Day, ya chese do our friend with decay. One and I'm not in a car job as you may do so another year. Our power 97.9 FM. Was as a whoop a year, a man penny for my bed Ghana Quenyanana will be a catasation proye adocrone party said ye a year somra adocro cramana a year oman penny nana a kufuado a HB this year one no ena just a wabuama catasation proyeno edited to me ye pa a memo. Na abra na udike air casano. Na ete se bia one eye Professor Lumumba ena enam na penya efane se eye Professor Patrick eye Lumumba eye obi a chese Ghana hade ene wiase afana ba bia nkanka ne abibrim Africa ha no ye company mfu a omokasa ewom omokasa edu akire na omo assess eye yen leaders ahodo ni nyina no emmodem bo ene ni omo yade bo omo man a na chese otimi se papa no wo ye obi a wabin ye papa pa ntini efane se eye Professor na wo amanyo ko awodo awo ebibimemu ha ene mpanifu a edi animu amama ahodo no obeti se eye Rwanda mampanyi ya chese papa die Paul Kagame we obi a one of the finest in leaders in Africa. I dare say papa ejina baby aswa Professor Lumumba obo papa ya baso papa say akwanya wode atoto na kwam enema wode atoto akwam ewo Rwanda way back in 25 years ago. Now we hear enema esesi ye nipa ehwi wo monkwa ewo Rwanda na nei we hear say die papa no wasi me atimi attend things around ewo Rwanda and Rwanda yet say Singapore, one of the most peaceful countries in the world. Ya chese wiase fona baby ano papa ne ye bona baso wo chese ohwa amama hodu Mauritius ene ade a wo bompa ne fona baso ye papa na no na sanchefo ne papa yi ekwa twetwe nkomo no mu bisa ne say wo we de yekoso ewo Ghana amama say eh kurobe yi Ghana papa France na na Kufuado na wo ye obi a na wo gidie ewo ne mu ye papa na so papa yi ba ye ade say wonam ewiem ana jet papa ba ye katasese ene proye enema header enkoyie na nanado ayi obi a ono Professor Patrick Lumumba nanado a disappointing ye papa ya wodi yawo ewo nanado amemwo mu san se enema enkoyie kura Professor Lumumba is utumira ne wa kiresi ye tie ne samai.
Saying the president of Ghana is performing very well. Do you still see the same spirit of perfect leadership in him?
You know, the number of leaders is that if you see good in them too soon, they disappoint you very quickly. And there is a sense in which I'm beginning to feel disappointed by President Akufo-Addo, that when he started very well. He had sound ideas. He had the ideas talking about industrialization in every district. He said that he would perform or look at Ghana beyond aid. The rhetoric was right. But now, as I watch him consistently, I'm beginning to see a mismatch between rhetoric and action, and I'm seeing the widening of the gap between action and rhetoric. When I see a members of parliament going to parliament and saying that the president's wife should do an allowance, then I know that the man whom I thought had great ideas is now down the slippery slope. That is my unfortunate verdict as I speak now. And if I had any doubt in my mind, the young men and women who are now rising up in the streets of Accra are saying with me, Nana, we thought you are on the right path, but you have now taken an about turn and you are moving with jet-like speed in the direction that we don't want to move you to move in. It is sad for me to say that for a man who, in terms of intellectual firepower, he has it, but oh, how I wish he could say with Paul of the Bible, the things that I hated, I hate them no more, and the things that I love, I love. How I wish Nana could do that in the next 4 years. We may speak fondly, but for the moment, I feel this.
Yes, man. Professor Patrick Lumumba. You too, what a champion. You know, man, flying in the sky with jets, speeding like and Yama head in Professor Lumumba, I'm director, TV director, cross I say, yes, oh, champion, Professor Lumumba. Magumbe way, it be some rebium. When we are also friend and down for no funny bush, and they say, TVS was at Gumbe Show, Mugabe, and I was so live. Facebook Live for no a TVS was at Ghana. So, who are Germany, France, Belgium, Italy, who are Dubai, who are a year, Nipata Mobile, Saudi Arabia, for any more Egypt, Yamohe live. You catch them say, show no a your number one TV show in Ghana, the Gumbe Show. Afei, you move on. Afei, you call a year Professor Kwesi Enin so. Now, another day, yes, in Kunya, near Tenasi. Professor Kwesi Enin, yeah, ka obia. What do call a year security mopa, a security expert, a year a baby mama and a reason for na baby. Wo yini pama kuma kube edu, edia, nyadia obeyini din, esi enche. Papa, ne kasa ensesa. Say a baby no the obe biano Professor Kwesi Enin wadi etu eja say running some memo why jumano for 40 good years into experience no eyadea ekurani ye papa MDC penso Professor Mills John Mahama na Dubai ye ekoyi obeka enkoyi papa yi wadi de wombia be den ebetudwa e de ama eye Ghana for na papa yi e de atudwa. So we on my Ghana as say crime aye awudie ababaye adwadie kase pa aye profitable aye business ya amanfo de so say nipa no odiboni a ye ntwe na so nkonkwese hwe papa me ma instances we be eniema asisi pen ye ntimi antu ho anamo say aye on my Ghana ye hadie si ye o kwabanya police station. Yeah, a year chief inspector, station officer, Teo, Nanipa Bonphobia, a Cronfotacha Mafua, Posifua Quachuomo, and I do the swim, Nasa Confotacha Mafua, or Moncro to me, Abwa, a year Quabenia police station hall. No, much to me, Aqua bought a year post in here, while what charge office only two Econo, Womukunu Rianaches, Womu Sas, and Womu Womo, and Crawford, a Confotacha Mafua in Naya Day, Edumu EPA, Ebesi Nay, Diabay, and a free Maba, Sabra, Sadinisi. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, chairman of the police council, you are vice president of the Republic of Ghana. Every police station in Ghana, no, omobe make sure say CCTV cameras ebe ye juma ewo babia. Ebe si nei vice president Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne semo kai wetumi amfa nye ejuma. Yes, Ghana formation so ne akaya. Post for mienu ya no obo ejuma ewo central region babia for say Bujumbura. Nipa bonfo bi etumi ebo post for mienu to ewia kete pay ekuwamo ebesi nei yete ho asembia La Paz aye forage bureau bia na ewo ho nipa bonfo bi ewura ho ewia kete akwaje won sika ama post ni otini motorbike so yesu ochesi omo amro besi etimi bo post ni tuo ekunu pay ebesi nei ya ante babia sanso ana brate afa ne se Emmanuel Osai wanu de Johnson ya Boulevard yibi yes kagum and omo bo ni tuo ekura na okura ni AK47 one side AK47 ni yedai edwane ekoi akwa akosi babia sanso na wo eniema ekoso ewo eye Winiba and also a Bulamva Bako, and also Mudi to Gugumu pepe. Possible money, whom to me Bomomadia, Ubia Ashrin and Qua Ewum. You had yes, see our casua, a brata when you fear Dunum, ya, or Nit and the Yokoba Canaho, Umu Equa pray for Ekun for our Ayakasua, Yabesi Nay, or say an aqua quacusi, Yohana say. See the headquarters say I know hey and we are kete and arm robbers ebowura eya forage bureau ubi ewo kaja and owi omo and also ankwa kwasi baby na say time ye ha Savannah region post ni ba bi ade ache ye na chese ne dem nipa bonfo bi ekono ato ono ane de ewo police barracks and also ankwa kwasi baby ye ka Mankasim enane nanan Our Mankasim in the central region, or painful or no afro, obi a akoda esa ne yam o nipa bonfo bi atimi akumaame no atwa ne ti afi so apa ne yam ayi abafra a wasa ne yam no asa atwa abafra ne na baako edekọ ebesi ne yensi we bia yekọ northern in the voter region ono so opanyi bi atumi akwa abafra wanya 12 years wono so ne ti edekọ akoma prophetess bi so maame bi so mfanya ne yankomade eno so akwa akosi sei saa so enanasa ne eda sori ya opanyi bi afasikan watwitwa ne yere baba ama oba no wawu ankosi bia dobro ewo eye eastern region na watwetwa mu nipa bonfo bi wono de one oba no nyina na tio wono so twitwa ne yere ekun no eno so akwa akosi sei na fa de church okra etsi awo eye abesim abofra abrante wanya mfie aduonu enwoche 28 years etumi akunipa mako miensa atwetwe omunam ede ahye eye fridge ma sa oton se wodi nipa ho dwa ho eye dwadie ne wodi o obia etumi enkyere ehwemu a eba ekyere se abrante no wo ya abrante a wo taxes mako edumiensa na so obia nim adwuma wo ye ewo eye sunwan ho ya ogoso ekasa baabi okum nipa na omonso no okosie no ne niema awodo nyina no egusu a ekoso eno na sese Ghana for say ye da ye timi enda fear and panic ne too much so obepie no ma na bona otwa na oyem hyew sese de wa mabim na awe eye Fourth Republic ya yiwom ya ye o mapanyi bi obedi yeso ane fa ne Jerry John Rawlings papa no se wuhia no kra na hwe nanim na ye wadwene se wo ye nipa bone ni a hu na bone ne beti akọ your penny be on also buy any of any John as you come for dear woo that by neighbor one also gentle giant one or by the who cry we are come for cry and I'll be dear woo obetum with them so I said who bambone did not quema na obi a queer bonio a sloby a day a winimo so soon your more pump penny be a obedia so any baby cry your funny John Evans at a mess you also assume who could the money cry that's a papa you phone you before any pa boneno ubejai John Dramani Mahama a hobraseni bama what ma order edema Ghana adehye ne penso ye hu bi takrade gasi jomama penso ye hu bi yesi wa bisimu ye hu bi apemfo aye ku omu yi omu mafiri omu yam ye hu bi ye hu ne ye ka ho asemu report wa aba beto dwa ekire se nipa makoma ko 313 murder cases first half of the year free aye January 1st ekosi aye 30th aye June 2021 nipa ye di omu awu omu atwe omu kwa no aye 306 emu emema ene doso kumase ene regional wo mu elidi eye chat no ena other regions bi ti se uti no eda ase ewo ho na no ena enei professor eye kwasi eni ya chese ka Kofi Annan peacekeeping eye training center ho a wono ene opanyi a wodano wode aba betu jase se de awudie no akwakoye te se de eye profitable business bi ena mafo eye no Ghana ha na ensema papa ne de atu dwane se awudie no esuntwayo ebekoso saa konenim dieti ena ewo se papa e friend se professor Kwesi eni wotimi de saa asem no atu dwa what for there na moye chairman of the police council why is the president quiet on this recent killings here ekoso ewo Ghana? Why is the vice president quiet? International journalists who free London about be juma wie ya wono ne juma dia documentary obey no and that is about peace and security we ya oba be fa ne wie se e free akono wa ma me dunkan ye boni tu ewo kwam ekun no. What is happening in Ghana? Professor Kwesi Any security expert yentie sema wo kan ye na miwia na afei security analyst na waba besi nkonya no Dr. Sule Ibrahim yete wakoda ne mopa ewo bambo mu ene security mu nsem no yade se wabin wo mu yie pa wone ne ne besi nkonya ene anwumre ene ye discussion no ebe based on security wia ye de wako jomoro ne akohwe de course so ewo ene Professor Kwesi Eni on FM when you are Umaru Sanda.
Unprepared to deal with those who commit crime, particularly if they are well connected. Crime has become such a profitable venture in this country that we just don't know what to do. And it's not just ordinary crime. Violence has become a currency in which those who are more violent have a much higher currency in society. And particularly if the use of violence then translates into economic incentives and some in inverted commas wealth. the society glorifies those who have perpetrated those crimes. So we are going to see more of this.
We're going to see more violence.
Remember when you called me last week? I told you, take your time, we can have this conversation on Monday. And between when you and I chatted, I told you that at least 3 more people are going to be murdered or butchered. And I think probably more than that has happened.
The police should be inviting you to come and answer questions.
No, I've been in this business for 40 years. Maybe I look so sexy and nice because I have a free mind. Not true. Anyone in parliament, in government, who has sat in my class or in the uniform services knows that I have never changed the way I speak, that I speak based on the analysis and the reality. And I mean, you can choose to take it or leave it.
There are going to be more murders, more clashes, more gun violence, more spousal murders, more all of those things. I mean, recently we did a story in Nima where it was a wedding ceremony. People showed up shooting in the air and killed a girl in the
How often have you and I spoken about small arms in this country? It's not, it won't change overnight. And I'll repeat, it's going to get much worse before it starts getting better. Change. Look, those kids in, is it Kaswa, who murdered their friend and murdered a pregnant woman before. One wanted to buy a Range Rover and one wanted to buy a Mercedes-Benz. If they had been successful, they would have sat on the front benches in wherever they worship. You and I are not role models for anyone in this country. It is those kids, had they been successful, who had been role models. And I detest the hypocrisy and the lies in our society that when criminals fail, oh, these people, blah, 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 blah. But we know those who have done so. We know of this fetish priest where somebody took the president's picture. I don't know whether you saw that video, what has happened to the fetish priest. Okay? Now, when you live in a society where the first gentleman of the land can be sent to some
juju man,
then where are we? And that is why in talking about the physical crimes, we need to talk about spirituality and politics, spirituality and economy, spirituality and social hierarchy. Precisely because underpinning the crimes that you are talking about, or we are talking about, is the spiritual side.
Yabeda City FM for ase yenua Umaru Sanda ene ni team omo City FM ene City TV ase for that wonderful interview with Professor Kwesi Enin. Na utie sema papa no ekana e deep ye papa say we obatan we parent o mano epi ahwe mu ye esa Afrina ebe get west sasa president nya na adwen say obeka ho asem vice president nya na adwen say obeka ho asem ebe ye west intino yane say wo so obebo ho ban na wo so akoto sankofo ensem sasa etu akodi amanfo ensem no etu no edoso ye papa na say ye wa asofo Ghana ha Oma so omo enkasa sanse omo feel comfortable. You see National Cathedral omo di animu you kunipa ewo Ghana ha. They are quiet, they don't want to talk about it. Now one day it will be their turn. Sa go for we no. One day omo ba to amo ewo baby amo ya sorry ana mu fie na omo ne mo aba abedi. Seti America say where emrate ya kan omo tuto Range Rovers ene eye Mercedes Benz ya woman edu kwasi ada ho omo no ma shoe white na shoe ano ten ni aba be gina ho na sofo abompa ye de amomo collection ye to no bawe kakraka na sofo age na nani age sankofo yi ebimo ene oma omu edi saboni ewo ha na se ye wo mem na niema nkoyie na maya madwe sa monkasa mu be din na saa niema we akoso dia ye nyina yese o man no ese ya ye nyina ene yetim ye ni ye nsu a ye nyina na ebedi de ye frɛ ne kire eye Jomro ewo eye apa eye ewo Western region Jomro in the Western region ewo enene edayi ye sentwerefo ene mpanifo bibiri kopie mu ho yɛkyerɛ epiemu ɛwɔ hɔ ɛkyerɛ sɛ one border no aban tu mu ebesi sabri enya ade a wabi ama wo mu covid mmere mu ene to border mu wo mu asu sɛ adehifo bɛka no ma hyɛ no so a ade sɛ fie de twa mu ɛwɔ ɛyɛ ketu south ye nua ba ɛyɛ gifa komashi ye ɔyɛ mbrase bedwane di matemamufo a wɔn wɔ ɛyɛ ketu south abeto mpɛso aso wɔne ne dɔm afiri denu ene ne patamu nyinaa no ɛyɛ nsɛntwerɛfoɔ frɛ wɔ dɔm ɛma ɔmo etumi yɛ kyerɛ kɛseɛ paa sɛ open our borders ene eduro ɛyɛ jomoro in the western region in Zema land to be precise. Yenua ba honorable Doctors Afo Tofi. Wono ND a demonstration anim. One also na emra se bedwani a wo edema amanfo. Ye o kire se eye adese a wo libo ene ne patamu nyina no. Omo ebre ye papa. You ready course so e ho.
We are doing this demonstration because the land borders in Ghana have been closed for way too long. It's been almost 2 years. Our people at the border towns are suffering. As you can tell, people are crying. People that went for bank loans cannot repay. Lives have been lost. Marriages have been broken. People are committing suicide. The whole town is getting into like the ghost place because people are moving out of this place. So people are suffering. They can't pay school fees. Marriages are just falling apart. A lot of things are happening. A lot of hardships. So we are doing this demonstration to tell the government that we should really pay attention and do something about the reopening of the borders because it's been closed for way too long. The airports have been reopened, but the land borders have not been opened. And it's really affecting the livelihood of our people. We've done everything. As a member of parliament, I did a statement. I called on the interior minister to ask him about the closure of the border. Nothing has been done. So we are hoping that by doing this demonstration, it will help us. The government will really hear us to do something. And that is why we are doing this demonstration. It's a peaceful one. We are only pleading to the government, our father, to do something because people are really suffering. We are doing this demonstration because the land border. Yeah, better in your honorable Doctors ase ewo sa yechira. Omonete mamofo ewo jomro in the western region of the Republic of Ghana. Uguso share live ewo TVS was a Gumbe Show, your #1 TV show in Ghana. Kwasua we are fana babia or Facebook live TVS was it Ghana. Edino Mugabe Masi and Sign. Afei adofo ya moso mo hwe we are fana babiano. We salute mu na nwumre yo. Moso madwe kire ene sei. Mo kam adwene ne yenkoye ni man 0204155388 0204155944 woso frɛ wo frɛ a twonho free TV ne ho ne dum afidie ne kora sɛ de be ya emma me feedback na mete won kan yie papa ewo dwumadie ne so Prigo Engineering Victory Garlic Misa Nis Microfinance S Natural Mineral Water Solac Natural Clinic. First caller we dey be akasa free me nua Mpacho zika dongo ni mikasa pekechima mbuzi ni regional capital. Wada uro mapenye yanko wadwe nchire. Ka. Meche oni watifu nyina meche regional chairman chairman. Meche President Akufo-Addo ni boumia. Omuye corrupt sin aban pia wabagana. Ena President Akufo-Addo ombuye Ghana for. Wa play fresh one. Ya kan wa samse come there. Ye bre ye jumagu. Apai wode penyati se overcast Ghana for Mate. Now I can for second one. Let's say Ghana for no one we ba kura. It is the ye wo be a President Akufo-Addo found. Institutions in your President Akufo-Addo gunu. Yeah, that's it. 9 months ni PC kura ni wa. Ya nya no ba bia na tira sem puntuni ma bia. Tira bi bia ko na papa we. Kwanya wo bi tingi amamu ya. Odi bu yanka bibia. Bibia ya ma na nkopon. Odi nyankopon ready. Bye bye. Yes, that's no adventure out the free Techiman in the Bono East region of the Republic of Ghana. Live on TVS was at Gumbe Show. Many would anybody be a casa free. I'm a guy Richard Nimika Dia so. West Apadensha. Yes. What out of my yet? I'm patching music on my money or my penny or Papa. Maybe I'm you and I'm more kind of I'm a Gabini won't consider your blue. Yet black but as a man come back to the say, it's a moment touch in the Mahamichi. Then to Mapa Mahama Bae, obey the bois of my Ghana. Yeah, that's say anyone adventure the free central region at the Abba. Live on TVS was at Gumbe Show. That's called out any baby a casa free minia.
Kwablaje ka se free hin. Tuase. On side. O da ro ma yentie we.
Mogabi, mama we dem nwa. Because my body was gonna how back and say who go to Mugana mai. Me as Gana center. Eji Tewam. Eji and the enya bre. So pan kan enya chia. I go be any problem. I don't go be bre.
Yo. Yeah, that's no so I don't share with the about free Eastern region. Yami asumdue enkan. Additional sport. Go so Janet yase mo bi nsi ku a. Menu a wo de na ba bi akasa free. Hello.
Hello.
Obanyi ba bi a wono dede wo ha atwe wo free ho na position wo yi pa. Lipa pem na tiu. Tafo kuma se tafo. Men tie with TV no, tie free with telephone no. Gina so tie free with telephone no, men tie free with TV no so. Wo so kasa free tafo, ye tie o.
Tafo Abdullah Damuni.
Abdullah ye tie o wada romantantem.
Insecurity na koso wa mind no. The threat president ankasa. Only the uniform. Because also in said you protect and defend and protect the life and property of this state.
Fantastic.
Human life is the property of the state. And it is they are inscripted because Basa has a friend gentleman. I was so good because make you comment to home. And then you can say as a fear and I said the book for a but unko jina baby and come now protect also protect life and property. Now concern.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yes, right. When guys are all Cassandra, the sources, all the security agents to look to the side.
Yeah, but that's it.
They don't show any concern.
Well, that's a Kalaji Abdullah, also one year child with free Tafo in Ashanti region of the Republic of Ghana. The Abana Tafo for Yinani Kumasi for Amohe life in Yinano, Yachiamo and Anyway. Many I would never be a Casa free. Hello.
Hello, good evening, David.
Good evening, position 1 year Kakrawa.
Oh, you Bacho Mekata Kumasi.
Kumasi.
That's no program now in the Chico, and I only said, Obama, that Jonah said that 2024 power.
Fantastic.
And of course, in the be able and no program will say a bomb power in a form of the Cotier.
Amen. Chia tafo etimetim mamponte for any omunyina chi omunyina mayeda se afrefo to asumi ni nyina kumase yedamase kumase for mohwe papa miss mama ma Joanna ne Mrs. Norma chi omunyina nwumre kola we dey ne ba bia kasa free
Ogabi edi adodo na ade frame Mahama PC mikata free
asenfosu in the central region obanyi yetie wen
Mugabe, Mamintia Dr. Richard Kofi SCU, incoming central regional chairman. Where Mugabe Papa Boy Mapa, and Mugabe, and you may be cost for Ghana. Mamintia Papa John Dramani Mama, and to my throne by a toa. Ghana forces and another data Ghana for say, a planty of woman. A good for the city, a planty and when you Mapa, I do pray mine. Share a mamma who. If you have an idea, you could be a plan of woman who got away. When you're such a police before I don't see a car or something, but Mugabe, a Bayaka, what's the other for you?
Oh, David, will be answered. David, will be answered. Only say, you know, we are here to educate, to inform, and to entertain. We are not here to incite any violence. Say, we being confessed to, being sorry, confessed, Debbie. 2024 nanado eyede anemre ebeso political power e expiring date edu wana wo hia na watu aba na wayi no afi na ono kura wo mabi mba wo mia na beba ono so yebeja one nanado nyina akwan 0204155388 0204155944 next call I want homa no so minia wo de ne baby akasa free
Good evening.
Good evening minia wo de ne baby akasa free
Pastor Thomas from
Bogoso in the western region. Modia young quay wadauruma.
Okay. This imagine Kakam that I make sense. And you wait in a man being paid, Nanado, ɛne na bɛdi akyerɛ ne mpanyinfoɔ mu ɔman yi mu motuma ma ɔmo adwene sɛ sanka bɛyɛ ɔmo mpɛ obi a ebi anka obi kun obi a mo mfa no nkɔ police station koraa na nka ɔmo so ɔmo nkun nipa no bi sɛ ɔmo yɛ saa deɛ no a anka saa akunkum ne nyinaa bɛkɔ fam ba ɔmo nka biribi amfa nti ana ɔmo nso ɔmo sɔrɔ na ɔmo kun nipa no saa sɛ ɔmo mbɛtumi aka biribi akyerɛ ɔmo anka ɔmo nka saa dɛm
yɛmmerɛ mu no instance justice ɛyɛ ade a yɛmmerɛ no ɛmpene so saa nipa di bɔne a ɔnte sɛ court yo yɛbɛda ase yɛbɛda ase ɛne wɔ so adwenkyerɛ wode firi bogo so ɛde abrɛ last caller wodin ne ma bi a wokasa firi o
yo yɛfrɛm alex kɔku ka mfrɛ fi dansoma abrɛkuma wɛ
wade awroma wo na woyɛ last caller yɛnkasa yɛti o
yo medase no adwuma pa a moyɛ insecurity ɛkɔ so ɔma deɛ moga sɛ meka kyerɛ sɛ ɛnyɛyɛ yɛ a na yɛboa ɔpemfoɔ yɛtumi twa ɔpemfoɔ ti na yɛyi akwara no afiri ne yam ne yɛtwa akwara no pa ne yɛtwa ɔpemfoɔ nso ti afiri so nanado sɛ na aka kyerɛ sɛ woba bɛboa ɔman sɛ yi sɛ wodware wɔ wiem ansa na bɛgu yɛ so nti so yɛtɔ nyina nanado adware na wodware yɛ no ɛna ɛfɔ ɔman mu nyinaa baabiara na ɛyiri fa so no nanado ɛngya awiem na wɔdware no a ɔman sɛ nsuo bɛyiri yɛ saa kɔ
mene ɛbɛda ase no so adwenkyerɛ afrɛfoɔ tumi frɛ bɛ adwumadie so nyinaa yɛbɛda mo ase ɛwɔ anidie kwaa so ahobraseɛ kwaa so aha ne yɛde afrɛfoɔ no mommerɛ no ɛbɛsie yɛbɛda yɛ ho semɛtie wɔ mo ne yɛafa aboafoɔ nkratoɔ ne yɛasan yɛba yɛba yɛne security expert Dr. Sule Ibrahim ɛbɛtwetwe nkɔmmɔ yɛba sesia
Victory, Edu Papenie, victory, Edu Papenie, victory. But when I win a 2 months, we're doing victory, sir.
So you're real nuts, not your swatch. You know, victory garlic mixture, no? You're going
Hey, and the victory garlic mixture. Let me join the celebration. Victory, Edu Papenie, victory.
Menu. Number gentlemen, me more for sunny ye. Menya victory garlic no, and na me ho atome.
Kane no, me nante kakra, na makuma bomi peri na mabre, na me ni so nyine bri me. Na sisia no, menya victory garlic mixture no. Bibia ye kama.
And let's celebrate.
Da onya fie dumi you know, appeal for any oba or man for intimi mfasa edro bi.
Victory.
FDA agi edwadie enkrato yi aton.
Welcome to Auto Check Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to so many hour crash.
Sure.
Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check.
Visit AutoChecks at Koforodia Aquadum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. AutoChecks, check.
AutoChecks, your safety, our priority.
Check, AutoChecks.
And for health alert clinic in an LT and Kana. Last week, I know where to train Como, and then see at Tanas and I said, I'm a pomodi who here no, and who here said now to be anybody didn't come. Now I can't, yeah, a pomodi who some any more didn't come, a area be quite fast whereby, and I face so quite about, but first or be ye few honomo. Now, be here a child quite near your bow, ye did withdraw crudging any infidia, I bet infidia, she pedream, who baby a dear share, ye did to your dear, say, if you honor among cry. Amanako health alert clinic senani de din kan woti yenka ye wo madina ye herbal clinic afa na ya ba foforo kra na ye de herbal endroyi abibindroya and afa so organic product and we chin so ye de machine treatment and e di tu ya de ase na ya de pia how bia we na share ya ye boawo na yetena se ye pese ne wudi nkomofo apomuden ho ade a ekoso woni pedua mu signs and symptoms bi ebeba amu hu se ade poti we na ha me na no aboa wo na se wahu bia watu anamon na yetena fidie se ye ntufo se yedi nkomo se ye ntufo se ne awbetie no nam gina so na fa ko gina bonten to aduro oba health alert ye facility ne kese kakra eno achi oba ebe he omoje me be he odunso mu na ya hu yade ne poten ne etu ase efiase kra na ya wantani etomre bi na ot signs and symptoms bi ya kase yade bia hosuo ni yade bia hosuo se engina so na mfa enkoto entro health alert clinic o Madina post office emprempren de ye branch na ye baako nkora baby na se nya no mepacho pie yo Madina post office into true Madina busa se okọ post office wujina post office na nimu a ni opposite ube hu First Atlantic Bank na chipe eho na ebutu ayedi enjuma o hwe TV na screen ne so number ne gu ho frɛ yen obetim so WhatsApp yen enkomo bi apese oni edie no ene yendi na epese edi nkomo bebre na ehwe yen apomuden ho enema eba ma yehu nema nketenkete bi se yade asomesi ana benten na ebo pene ye do no na wotwe bia etena ya ye hwe yade ahodo aba ene adanse a yenya e health alert clinic ne agina so ene mu odi nkomo na wotwe mu no ye pese ene mo ka ho asem e di nkan e ulcer ye yade bia eba ye funu mu na emoawa eye bacteria infection this how also eba na ye fe abua bi H pylori eye sa amoawa yi eye bacteria eba to ye mu a enam sa ye so ema utiminya ulcer eno achi nso enema bebre oho no ma ye activities bebre ye lifestyles ye didie se na ye didie ne kwan fa so ye didie eni nyina ye kwan ahodro bi a ye fa so ye timinya sa ulcer yade na eba so eja wo ye funu yade yade bi a ne ho ahomete wodidi a wamen wo yam ye oya ekomdo eye oya wanu nsuo eye oya etomre bi a eye ye hunu wo ye funu mu na hunu sa onfinchen na eye oya obo ano hyehyew aduane a wodi a emsese makoka kra bi wo mu na ehaw ni nyina eye nsunsuanso nketenkete bi a eye osayade ede ba ye so na oba health alert ye nam sa ye mi dro yi ene ye organic product yi ene ye machine treatment yi ebetu sayade na se fi ho ede amawo ene nte me kan form se wonya nsunsuanso bi nyemba bi nketenkete bi eto chema na etra say ye ulcer me pa chaw bra na ye mwawo enwechi nso yade baako a ene ha ye papa nom ne enua mema nom yade bi ese prostate disorder prostate de yade bi o mema ho ehye nipadua ne mu deda na disorder na chese nema bi etochema wo ho a ha adwen bebre kane no na ye kase se be ma bi nye enyini na onya 40 years mfie aduanan kra na ya yete hu sa yade ni bi nenne enam nema ekoso enwumadi ahodo a ye nti abafem kra emema bebre na sa yade ha wo mu na yade ha adwen eba ne sa na ekosi ombe ma no ho kwan a omudwunso twa no emomu ntimi nwunso eni ti eba ne sa ye se yade bi ye fe ne kateta ebeto bema mu menye bema de na ntia amate ne se eye ya pa etomre bi ohona ye ya na anye ye tobiri kra kateta na de tum kra anye ye na wasa ye hwe odunso twa no ho na ye twa be oyefunu ho ba bi na ya pai na dunso na ba preko ano eye den na yade yi ha adwen pa ya ye tufo na ye hre wo se wo ho na ho se odunso na mmaye kakra na akam wa ya se ya wo ya ni nyina nso esi wo mema ye ho kwan na ha adwen na no mete ya na me kasa be ma ntena se ma be ma nwu na be ma enwu ye na se be ma koro ya na esa de bibia sa kwhyem ampo wotimi adwonso a na chese na me be ya tochema me so number na gu screen so no friends si a say prostate disorder na ahawa ana aya bibi na ebe soa wo so ana say uhu sunsansuo bi odwonso emeye kakra na akam wa ya se ya wo ya ene niema emfata adwonso no entimi maye obetunso ntantem sa akwa kakra bi na aba na se de ya na de bia so meka ne se ya de bia husuo ne ya de bia husuo se no uhu signs and symptoms enyina so na nkasa eye no na eba nti ukopa duro bi wo kwanchan anom ha adwen ebe ye se bola suja no aye se de ani awo no na ase ne de gya no wo ho eno nti wan hwe ye eka no pe na ekofo how kese pa na de abafie ya papa drivers a mote car kese so na eja heat engine heat bomwa enfie bebre ni uncha ke hwe me pa chopa se mesro sebo modern na ehwe na yentu sa yade yase enfemfri ho health alert clinic ya o Madina post office enti se CID any branch bia o ba bia eno nti wo fa car na wo si Madina station a bisasa ukọ Madina post office na udu post office n'animu a na megu screen so wo betima frɛ ya na be WhatsApp yan na yetimi aboa wo eno achi yade bia fe ne cholesterol yade bia wo de yade bia ha obi a me pese me boy yade ahodo bebre so na mom so diabetes or hypertension, erectile dysfunction, bema wo sorry ana wo gina ho na akoda bibi basa bi me pa chobra na health alert clinic ye mwa wo eno achi ye be ya wo test ye be ya wo scan afensu ye be ya wo physiotherapy sorry ye be ya wo physiotherapy ene say ye de mfidie no be miamia wo ye de si wo na so na ye de hyew sisi na no achi ye de boa amane nyina atoto ye no ni nyina ba health alert clinic a ye be boa wo ya Madina post office your number na go screen so no frɛ na yen twetwe nkom
Moga ya plebumyo ya ojawo
Why yebeda yaboafo ase health alert clinic yadamase omwana de se boss training no de ebrewo yakopon adoma ochina de ya anti monhye no so ochina fiada na chese memenda so ne ade nyina no training na baby adabia mokono ehwa ensesan bia emai inti monhye no so papa prego engineering so na Nice microfinance S natural mineral water Victory garlic mesa ena Ostek real estate omada romanete chira edejumedi ebrewo afi mamema onimanyamfo Dr. Sule Ibrahim security analyst akwaba for the first time Emryan platform so TV SYZ Gumbe Show obenye mi akwaba yume
yo mejo so
na pomite sen ya de dana kwem
eboko
ya wadi nas wa hadie Gumbe Show so no wabalo inti ubegumbe pa na wacheche semu sasa mo na makodare ewo mambo mo ohwe ba bia wo man directional o man e bia enam yekoya ekwa ben ene enam so sisiye direction etesen watie ensema eye professor Kwesi Enin ya ono ye security expert wode atudwa his interview with interaction with Omar Sanda of City FM so far yembambo no minimise moye mo checks bebre US state department agency omodi omo report aba ama on citizens on national say wa ha no obon kokose areas bi wo ho a mo na ma mo very careful na jukra mo na mo yeah kura president Fimu Chibi is one of the areas. I mean, does it speak well of us as a country? Minia Dr. Sule Ibrahim.
Yo, that's yes. As a security analyst, Naso Bia Sabio, we hear analysis on matters. We hear analysis on Senyema Efa, among for Setenemo, about issues about survival, issues about safety, well-being, and contentment needs of the population. Now we hear analysis respect to say among for perception about that, and also respect to say. Events are ACC among for new media report now we analysis those events now body na tofa you be a hard when I say yes be a strong answer bit my case I said sebio or my penny for yaja or my mo atu hosa because Trent na air corner say bloodletting I may beat me shiny young queen not trinity a crack it na ono jina obiti kra na senipa nifa you be a hard nti wodwene ho aba because leadership and no nyenesel kran say leadership from the political level but also for the fact say leadership from the cultural level in terms of our chiefs and then those in charge of our like custodians of our customs.
Do they have any role to play?
Of course, the customs that have been manipulated or abused belongs to them. So if the customs have been exploited in a way that it hurts society, we expect to hear something from the Sabia. Tababe can be, I mean, so okay. maybe from the chief's level, so be operate spiritual house, be an spiritual activity or area has we expect to be register with the chief's house in that place, and I said be register with the district office or honor. So okay, these are the activities these are the activities that you are not part of it. And manasana nipa bonefo do ho afefamu anache say all the time na yeska ene yomodia. As long as scanning bad, then there's no problem, because nipa na wokuno it will be mama, it will be here. Amount for depend on that person too. So we you feel one man. I said, "Be I could come, mama. Na where you connect the man if no jane man. By the time Sebio meet me, pick up a crash. Yamia moa. Be any moment me pick up. Me no woman intimate determine the next victim of those people. So be a Sebio Yamia fa. I know money can be armed robbers, and I said, "Be a rapist." You can determine the next victims of those people. So it should be responsibility of political leadership, cultural leadership, religious leadership, and civil society, and more importantly, we the youth too.
Okay, religious leadership. So, Oya Omo di boni bibria, bibria kwa sorry dem kodase, a bompire, those in their Range Rovers, Mercedes Benz, yinim ankofwa. Omo edisa di we nyina wie du kwasiada isusu se omo beko asore dem. And then the religious leaders, as we saying, almost obian kan wasem. And then our leader, the president of the republic, who is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and his vice president, who is the chairman of the police council. They are all quiet on this issue. And Obi Bisa say, why are they quiet?
That's the word of all of us, because we entrust our security in their hands. So if you get into a point, say, "Do my be a sebia, I had the name, you hear some member out about can be also okay." We are trying to control, or we are in charge, or we are ensuring the security agency by your majuma. Now, or my you show money so make my baby out about Becana say, be and through one mama. A banasana, na I say you are disempowering the generality of the population, and why you are empowering the criminal elements, because we expect we will show leadership say, baby will be no acted in bad faith, I bet you. Na so be a man me can hwe yenim de ekoso na say from the church, from the mosque, and from the chief palace obi aba de hian say agina de hian so ni sika ba na say wolf ba ye nyina worship that wolf. I don't think it's the money that is all looking for. So that kind of reaction be free the leadership level ebeba betimi aka so okay, yes, this is the end of the situation, we are moving to a new direction, and yenya when you know so that's a problem. So at the end of the day, all the time we expect to say police for an engagement, but security is more than just police.
All right.
Because security is development. So the issues confronting the people today are part of the development process. The police only come in abra bonenesi. Police station or Honaman Fort Mivia. As long as a Nipano come then yes come ni Brennan. As long as a common dinipano obey boneno, you are taking a lot of developmental measures as Sebio contribute to this kind of crisis, youth unemployment that very high. Because we share previous majority of the people, say young people in the Galamsey. Galamsey fight ya stop home. So youth ne you move from Hefanomoko. A lot of people business have collapsed. COVID-19 by a lot of business have collapsed. So young guys Hefanomoko.
Banking sector.
Brand new lockdown, be braina ekofi. How many of them go back to school? They went back to school. So what are they doing? So there are a lot of structural issues that Sebio youth never find themselves in, and they are trying to navigate out of it. And these are the things.
You just mentioned of Galamsey. Any youth COVID by amount for businesses as any other. Then was a buying a year. Edigu akwemu said a sadi a two bit me extra. Galamsey, Umaya, she show my excavators, be more from Owu, be more at me abafi, women baby COVID by you must say a banking sector cleanup. Yeah, a buy do na I bet if we ya be more and a feed you any other. TN was a buying the
First and foremost is to prioritize youth on employment.
Youth
employment. At least there's nothing wrong if you have Minister of Youth Development or Youth Employment. If see it mean Minister of Sanitation, It means a minister of procurement. I'm not sure, say, those issues were more important than the youth employment I confronted on my end.
But we have youth and sports industry.
How many of the young people that focus in that ministry more or less on the sports side? Not every youth is. How many young people are into the sports activities? People want to say be a start a business. Young people know when interacted university level, say be a Greek. When interact no busan say from the classroom, will you want to go to the farm? The first question of busan says, so was starting farm and I say you insurance crops na your bed when you start can.
So we youth programs are working at your youth entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Your national youth authority.
Yeah.
So all these various government institutions and agencies.
Yeah.
One more ejuma anything.
Then definitely they are not on top of the issues. If all those agencies are there to develop the youth, to guide them, to be innovative and creative, and also to empower them, say, be able more, they have some initiative that they are lacking funding or they are lacking land, and then the state will have to come in. And all this while, the generality of the problem situation in the youth, and we don't see anything coming from those agencies, rather maybe even a regional conference or a national conference about youth development, trying to ask what is really going on. We don't hear anything from those agencies.
Fantastic. Well, you move on after Yanko Yenim, now you share so far no breakdown. Nema SEC free a year January, ABC Sabi, any year the total afi chemo a year 2020 no. We share a year May this year, and some SEC year a year Minister of a year Interior Ebabont Ambrose Derry. Yeah, what a year breakdown. Say what share murder cases here. I'm recording in the first quarter 2021 as compared to that of a year 2020 now. Now a idea we say a course year papa. This year no, I say first quarter no. Now yeah 144. So and first quarter in 2020 no. Then a recording a year 123. Over down now we have a year CRD almost so. Statistics Research and Monitoring Unit, SRMU, Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service. Much they say so far, figures from the Bayano, 306 murder cases have been reported between January to 30th June 2021. Murder cases, 306. Yeah, if you have regional breakdown now, Ashanti region in a leading on the chart.
And this statistic is even coming from official sources. That's what has been reported.
Thank you.
Not many of the cases that have been reported.
Fantastic.
So we could have more than this.
More than
in
this,
the system.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And people are going through. And if you look, so offer data now, if you the just Ashanti region and Accra and Eastern region.
Yeah.
The bulk of those who are involved in this, are below the age of 40. Ashanti region, 55 out of the 72 are below the age of 40. That's about 76 and something thereabout. Oba and Accra is still the same way, about 65%. Now, Oba Eastern region, about 56%.
Okay.
All of them are below the age of 40. So there is something wrong at that level. Between the age, let's say from the 20 onwards, or between the age from 18 to the 40, there is something fundamentally wrong that we have to look as a country. That's where the problem is.
What exactly needs to be done?
First, I've talked about youth employment or the empowerment of youth or young people in the country. That's a fundamental thing that we have to look at as a country.
So,
and
empower
the young
people.
Definitely, because they have to eat. From the age of 18 onwards, they become independent.
So, whose responsibility is to empower the youth?
It's the generality of our country, and the bulk of the burden stops at political leadership. Because if you look at the country, the way we have structured our democracy, in terms of the statecraft and nation building, the resources and the power are in the hands of the political leadership. The cultural leadership will have to do their part. The civil society will have to do their part. The religious leadership will have to do their part. The youth themselves will have to do their part. But the empowerment, the bulk of it, stops at the political leadership.
Yeah, breakdown a year. out of a year 313, you ever see the breakdown is it here? 261 males, 52 females of this year figure abbey. Was it only 7, 10 out to be murder? What's your figure now? Is it so alarming?
It's alarming. If it's one person, that's life lost. And life lost cannot be brought back. And life lost, that life, a lot of things depend on that person. Probably that person is going to be the next president or is going to be the next engineer of something. So at any moment that there's a loss of life, you can't play with in terms of figure whether it's 1, 2, or 3. That's human life.
Nama a year a who any timamufo mudi saboni. Over a year bullion van attacks and a year first half of the year from January to a year 30th June 2021. 4 attacks, and then you will say Jamestown a few months ago. Very young man, bare 24, 25 years, he lost his life at Jamestown. I mean, DNA and many pa. Na yesi okudi boni na boni na okudi ni oni hunu bi kura say post ni okura AK47 okwa attack ni wakunu na wasaji ni to edge he fan yedru the Fourth Republic ayo.
The first point number we stop at the security agencies, and then we try to look at say police, law enforcement, and I say the criminal justice system. Do people have confidence in those institutions? That if there's a crime, they can report. Until more recently, you know, police and civilian relations in the country. Others say civilians better attack your police for, and I say police for about retaliating in a very wrong way. So, you're creating a society that boils on impunity upon impunity. That have become to a level that people don't even, you need trust. Oh, police say, oh, bibi to me, meet me a report. Na police for no better ever back. When one can say the law and the there have been instances to be ya be police in Naba Benjamin for say Jamia Mono. No more than a report no crana police for any
instant justice.
Instant justice.
Call a bit free and what say what they saying. Yeah, the court to claim inquisition. It is amount for need trust in our judicial service. So
there is no trust. Once there is no trust, instant provocation amount for be delivered in the way they wanted.
Like what happened to Major Mahama in the central
definitely. Because there's no trust in it. See a reporter more DNBC. Probably Nipano was a reporter more bit me find who way back into society.
So do we blame the police service or we blame the president who is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and the vice president, who is the chairman of the police council?
If the police or the law enforcement system and the criminal justice system are not working properly, and the civilians or citizens are crying, then definitely those who are in charge of this institution have to answer questions. So be either say Omanpaini and our vice president, the ball stop at them because we cry to them, we elect them, and they police institution as a police leadership so if they are not up to task on that level, we have to ask questions and they have to answer.
Let me have international journalists be free United Kingdom, London to be precise, so about Ghana, about a documentary on peace and security. Many panel being Juma or Baba Senacono, if I want forward to me a cono, a year Ghana. 3 days ago, no more day, Nemono, the body no a call back to a year UK. And you may see, there was no government delegation there. Former President John Mahama and the delegation called here to ceremony about a UFO and for Hono and one question more a day and son of the body no a free hall a person a call a year London. What the air cost? I mean, government, is he ready putting some measures in place to make sure say Ghanaians will be safe?
And that's even worry. Sebia, so be about from international level, so Baba conducted this kind of thing. We need the motivation and the buyer. Sebia, investor being a summon so okay. Go and check for the peace and security situation of that area. I want to invest. What the report has been Nipana or Baba peace work or no what die in the line of insecurity. It's a stain on our country. Very and bad. A stain on our foreign image.
Very bad.
So at least some act of appeasement coming from state officials, not necessarily even from the president or even from the minister's level. But who knows, maybe they may act tomorrow or not. You can't even tell them.
Recently, you armed robbers here, a bar out, say, Omukodi Bonia, Omo Adi cars in Adin and every few Mubutu free, not Omo a free a year Jubilee House. And Sir robberies near Dia, okay, Ubi Wana Posi for air involved, Ubi Wana Soldier for air involved, Ubi Wana National Security for air involved.
That's what is built the lack of trust. Single police for me the data Brian Bontim Young say this particular person you are arresting a ID card that linking him to the Jubilee House is true. That's the information should be every Jubilee House or Baba Catcher so yes, Nipanoye Juma na the way ye chino seni ya dene paso. Na se ya information bien through on mama na public ne kasa na se 2 or 3 days time no eko ya gene said it has disappeared from the public conversation, but it builds into the minds of the people. There's no way they will have trust in the leadership of the police or even in the leadership that directs the police, and that's where the problem is. If those who are in charge of ensuring the police do their work, we are not seeing them letting the police to do their work in such a way, say, definitely there will be some kind of sense of impunity in society. Fantastic. And it builds upon it.
Very well. Let us say, Uguso live on TV as was the Gumbe Show, growing insecurity, any topic, any yede esiwa eka hon ensem papa ene na twetwe nkomoyi ni din the Dr. Sule Ibrahim oye security analyst. Ono ene ne twetwe nkomoyi se wunua bi ewo baabi na so pese wo hwe bi a Facebook live no TV SYZ Ghana betimi ahwe ewo iwiase afana baabi a on Facebook live na yerhwe eye ensema former CRD boss Bright Oduro ono so edi ababe tuja was to stop dangerous protocol recruitment into the police service CRD boss nisema ode atu edwano. So countries, our neighboring countries, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, terrorist attacks in Nigeria, we hear the way and the manner the first recruiting people into our security services. Is it proper?
At a certain point, I'm thinking around this issue, and then sometimes I get the sense that your security system be party A, party B. Now, Oma turning themselves around to more like being a work job over one another instead of providing security for the population. Because party A by power no pack the members. Party B by no pack the members. So at the end of the day, it's going to create a partisan police system or security system. And no one will be anyone more successful lead the partisan security system.
That was yesterday, and a Northeast Regional Chairman of the NPP Eba out. Institute said, "Wawoto a police forms Aba Bontana say any of the security agencies and our services forms Aba Bontino say we NDC ni now koto forms in media make sure say be you dey a free more. How do we determine youth obi we secondary school at the age of 18, 19? Yeah, or person or joining police service and also or joining Ghana Armed Forces, being the fire service or immigration. Now you obeti our radio so say will be sending that warning. Say I mean when you're MPP near, don't even try say okwakoto forms. I mean DNA can't change say oh mine. And you have the leaders are so quiet, they don't want to make any statement on these issues.
That's the problem I keep on saying. Because that person on over back a quacotrefie. Become Obababe as obey militant to ensure say the next party be ensure so no so the eco hobby. So at this moment Yapam more or less in that say Uncle Fiema Onra or when you Ghana yet. So change of government or also by Ghana. So at the end of the day this is the kind of situation that we are going to confront. But what is worrying most so more voice can be a bemo. Let me about condemn this kind of statement. Even so, we go practice Sonokrana, at least don't let it be in public. If you are practicing, just practice it. But if so, can now be a motivation for others at somewhere. And I want a word in the one.
Fantastic. Dear now, if you say, Assistant, what has changed? Yeah, and maybe a tremono. They always say under the leadership of the late President Atta Mills, under the leadership of John Dramani Mahama. Now, a man for Bontin, the clergy, they come out to express their views and opinions. Now, they are very quiet, silence in the country. Said you Omuni Hall. First be a community and Yansafway. Now, a man for Casabi, but now, be a ayedin. Dear, and I'm a do baby, I do no as a country.
I want you worry. I want you one, I'm just maybe expectation as a media. A bit me reach out to this kind of leaders and find out what is really going on. Previously, when said not near air course namukasa, a boy. This time, name a customer, MY, I don't know dean. So you expect somewhere them will voice out. There's someone voice out more concern. When I'm leading the people. If you don't speak.
But freedom of speech, you know, and media, never can say a suppressive man. Say, I mean, I mean, what happened to our brother a year, Ameswale, a year, Madina. So we bet national television. So now, Obeka say, Abranti we or a Madina or free Madina or Tia, Mushiana, Mono, or bad premises here, the movie in Biamunian, Muria, Metria. You would see Caleb, his city TV. I mean, who didn't Juma attacks a call here, any day policeman beat me, Abranti a year, Posini Azugu, now a copium, our casino. No akotata man for Erastus a year donko of a multimedia Joy FM no bit ni TV so no threaten ye nyina etu ya fabimo I mean enura da ya a year PNC National Headquarters press conference ekoso a wo invite a year Power FM see yemra na emekova na yakopie mu dwumadi na se na onipa na aye press conference ni na ofeme aye the building of PNC na kutuba bi police commander mami bidu abeka tire say we hear permission and sign what to me aye what for musa de no na is against the law. I mean, what are we heading towards as a country?
That the way you apply laws in this country. Se nipa ne nim so on woma o yire ne ma ne life on here. Oba wontene beka na next time will lose a life. Won't mean your justice, definitely to be this kind of silence will come. And I will share USA reporter FR 2020 a day by first two no in terms of human rights abuses in the first two no a link with government. The first US human rights report 2020. Yes. The first two cases no a link with either impunity by government or state individuals are linked to government. Wow. And that's where the whole issues come from. Human rights report, the first 2-3 cases, there's no Ubenya, the state hand in that. And it's worried. Who read this kind of reporter? And even that report alone is about when the threat is facing U.S. interests, official U.S. interests in the country. That's what they capture. But the ACC the two amount for U.S. interests on Hono. Intimate to say, yeah, there are no baby can the U.S. report now. It doesn't give the country any good picture.
Inti Obibeka said, the air cost one before you do Munkaseno. Obibet me besides say, are they benefiting from crime? How do I echoes you?
It's what is any public me are benefiting from crime. Then you are more like peace spoiler. Because we hear analysis on crime and security and insecurity. So if you decide to profit from crime, then you are not doing any good to society.
But, I mean, per interviewer, a year Professor Kosi Enin, any Marisanda of CTFM and CTTV, what in some manner, Professor Enimokaja
currency,
a year crime no abe profitable, I mean, a business or whatever in the country.
Yeah, because, and he said in the context of the impunity, because we are here and only pan use the same violence, you know, what the young free man, what the young violence. Among for more the violence here, they want to achieve something as Sebio. the legitimate means, intimate achieving more the way they want it.
Fantastic.
So they will use the violence to achieve that. And once they achieve and serve their interest, and nothing happens to them, the next time either somebody and as another person, they learn from what they did.
Professor Kwesi ni nsema o say ebe more we no crime na de no murder cases na de no ebe koso afi we kura de yemu afi na ebe koso. I mean, is there any thing that we can do as a country?
At the moment, the first thing is all of us as a mind a bit to say development is not just about police and criminal justice. It's also about development. Go back and look at the challenges facing the people in the country today and see what we can do from there. Other than that, I say continuously build hospitals. Now we expected doctors for the team who nipa do more like the number of people who are sick in the population.
Okay.
Doctor no hospital nya do be hunu. Se nipa na reported to the hospital. The same way with the police.
We know it's a threat to be especially the youth in the country.
It's threatening, and that's why increase in small arms. Small arms.
Other African countries like Tunisia, like Egypt, any other countries. Nema Basa, recently Chad, any other countries now. And you might be saying any to me from Russia.
Because insecurity, when it grows so much, it leads to, it can collapse state. Countries that have allowed insecurity to grow so much in their midst have not survived it. And we hear the Global Peace Index report, Ghana ebe topo Botswana. Why? Because of insecurity. Botswana previous normally lead Ghana all the time, but because of insecurity in society, ye kapi sayana monfo fa na sebia you pointed guns at each other in a war situation. But we are talking about societal security. We are talking about safety of persons, safety of livelihoods, and safety of lifestyles.
Yeah, maybe we say, we share a report to a US State Department agency. Report to Monday and it said, we share Timamufua, Umukra on registered guns, more than the registered ones in the system. I mean, dear signal and the Sunday out there.
Some time ago, we discussed with respect to the management of small arms in the country, where the Commission for Small Arms and Light Weapons want to regulate the production, distribution, and supply. The police only come in to register the weapons and then monitor the use and whether legitimate use or illegitimate use. So, maybe to us, I use a weapon. The hands of the police are quite registered. Be one ma, HSM, a quack or semi produce document, HSM, a valid person to carry the weapon.
Maybe our criminal
record be an new record. So, Mikotovia and Sanam, the police, if I register. Instead of say, I'm not qualified to even buy the gun in the first place. And because there's some sense of insecurity or increased insecurity in society, nipa bebre na air to weapon, and the more you have weapon in the system, the more you are creating insecurity. So it becomes a cyclical. More insecurity, more weapons, more insecurity.
Yeah, safe.
How can we be safe in this kind of context? The least provocation said, nipa ne teneka mo krana nitio wanama nitio ho. Misinterpretation of someone's posture, it might trigger mana polygon. Or suspected say, oh, this kind of person, or Baby may say, then he pulls the gun. By the time realize the damage has already been caused.
Fear and panic a war a year or my as a security analyst. A foot to bang now, the Bema a year if you are for parents or more fee or more pay. Advice Ben on the Bema more fee, more fee, whoopee, any war bar on social media. So, Nema was away, any Nema was away, a security analyst. Advice Ben or the Mayan viewers and anyway. Generally,
because security management a shared responsibility, civilians will do their part. But at the end of the day, no say we are in a democracy or state amount for you just surrender your rights to the state. So, we don't say civilians and consume weapons and for more because they have surrendered that right to the state to protect us. The only thing is somebody say we won't trust people anyhow. Sebia wo kwa adwuma wo so jime mami bantra ho me kwa ba. You can't continue to do that anymore. And I said, "Bia, what do Baba Jina Kwam so Kaba for na co school? A crackety with Jina Horman of Potato so on Froka and Uncle School." And I said, "Bia, also okay, so far bar from a back of Fabreme." That kind of we are breaking that kind of fiber in our society. So for me to trust somebody or trust any person, even say for a taxi and I said, "Bia, for a car baby crana." The first thing is okay, I'm checking the number and if you answer my phone. Because I was saying to me number cry there, car cry me team. And if it's possible, let me text the number too. Me maybe or baby.
Okay.
So my front car way me call the number in here. Obi ni much nasa.
And my phone, I'm find your call.
Na me find your call. And I saw what you can, na say texting mo. Na so drew baby now share. Na one thing you may be so phone a free obi.
Mani who dear koso.
Dear koso okay. Mo okay mo drew has say me ba. Taxi we na me deba.
Thank you. If you want to CCTV ne yen fence walls near there dogs I mean dear was here.
Yeah, can't those things on about if you're criminal or criminal analysis go deep say the kind of builds and yeah one at this moment it's not even helping us. Say big walls in a year say home. Say criminal enter inside there or outside into me their coso. So or outside or CBB course or inside the handma or more outside the so those kind of buildings are not helping us.
Fence wall will be
fence so say fence wall at least there should be some pointers that say will be a more abontana or Timu dear course or fear horn. But because we don't trust anybody, yeah, especially wall near cover by beer. Obedi boni we are no pieko. 3 days time and Sunday who say nipa or hanma would the bonnet de see a besimia nipa to chromo would the bonnet. What
taxes makuma
13 above frat
28
years.
Manager.
What and I yana me busa me because to nipa so become nipa no you can near the crack. It's not one person's work. One person cannot do this type of work. And we need to go deeper. And ubitimun so okay one nipa ne here we among for assistant what timis one name the cook baby could see na a chrome horn yet to horn ma sabio you musa questions
to in Fourth Republic the home Rollins the home Mills the home Kofo the home John Mahama and the home Nanado the ekumu sesi ya hobi
me started script analysis 2 or 3 years ago. So it's difficult so bit markets will compare now to previously. But maybe here at the moment the escalating events are a course.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can be proud of.
Fantastic. Madasi, Dr. Sule Ibrahim, security analyst, and then live on TV as was it your number 1 TV station in Ghana. As like I say, I'm coming aboard for Prigo engineering, no matter what Macao, at a chair and a boy Jumedi and a basse, a year generators, year ton amawo, year installation amawo, maintenance amawo, year number 1. Repair and services of air generators, sales, installation and maintenance of air conditioners, sales, installation and maintenance of water pumps, sales, installations and maintenance of automatic and manual changeovers, general electrical and mechanical services. Ubi aja to me say Prigo engineering, yeah, number 1. Yes, I provided 24/7 phone support and yes, I provided 24/6 a year response service. And once over here, Chakwan, Ashoman Estate, adjacent K Ofori Enterprise. Call them on 050-574-1503. Ofre Prigo Engineering or Ebejoso. Solar Natural Clinic, Edu Prosafet capsules, Zepman capsules, and a Solar Mesa Edu Abejoso. Solar, Nindu Ninano. The two minimum no Prosafet capsules and Zipman capsules and Mema Guanso and a Enom, a Boa Mema, a Mumutimejon Soboko, a Momoto Moko Pemosua, Utimi Boy, you may ye papa, or be your son and the Bemam Yenia, when your Prosafet and capsules and a Zipman capsules in Bia, a bit me a boy ye papa, or Banso Confitano, I say boy, menstrual pains, any adeno, when your Solar Mesa, a Babuao, Samson a Beman so go no a hawono. When your Solar Mesa Nibina Wunuma, a bit me a boy ye papa. Dr. Solomon, a Solar Natural Clinic, Kumaso Morkington Chrono, Omni Share Filling Station, and a dim anymore. And Krawa baby, Krabata for Kra, your more Kukumlimle, or Harvard School in Chemwa on the Castle Road. Let's be a friend, Doctor. I was 0245 616028. We will have pharmacy show be a more Ghana ha. Ubinya Ninu Nibin so at all. Ostek real estate and so at a chidden and the Dijumedi Ebrewo. Wo pass Asiato Ewo Shine Hills, Afrenia, Asuchari Junction, Eben, Sun City Estate, Duyumu, Duduwa, Asibi, the winner, Chopoli, and the Patamunino. Yabema 200 blocks, near some or 10 bags of cement. Now, what they are shell Ufi and you see, I say. Who means so I walk and I pass all the gains, I say, a best of amount, there the homes I say, Eddie amount. Share Ostek real estate, a chairquine, Ewo Duduwa, and the fire service station, and a D and Shenimo. Feno 0244 684069 ofena yebejo so Victory Garlic Mesa COVID bremu COVID era was a utumi eboa na unipadua no etimi gina so yi papa wo ye ho aduro enwa ene nyina ye de hwe how far enwa se obenya Victory Garlic Mesa ni bi na etumi aboa boost wo immune system no na ma hoɔden no agina so pi esisuta enwa ne se obekɔ pharmacy shop bia wo kwa se open Victory Garlic Mesa ni bi na wato moje ntimi ni nipadua no mafurisa ne yi boni beka se blood circulation enam se eja wadwuma den a woye no wo se moje timi di mu afurisa ne yi no se ba se emasa eduba bia na wonan ne wonsa yetitiriti wo se ananse achew moja ntimi wura veins ni ma bia wo se fa no ntimi mfa no ena ma wonya saa eye atenka no pe Victory Garlic Mesa ni bi nenum oba ko mfitira wa yase ba odwedwe wonya Victory Garlic Mesa wontumi ni di wonum ato bro ni beka se loss of appetite wohia Victory Garlic Mesa ni bi na tumi abo pharmacy shop bi obewura mu no wobenya bi ato tamalefo nyina jatum area mama eni omo maka nyina nse Victory Garlic no ebo adwuma yie papa Alhaji Abdallah awotamale tipa truck station wase muga ha nyame nhira o sansa Victory no tipa truck station for watermale nyina no obia age atom fe doctor 0242 545633 ofe Dr. Obejo so as natural mineral water simply natural insupa abedwa so a say ye na wo ye wedding na wo engagement na wo ye wotopono e de afre adofo eno ane say obenya insupa de serve wo insu bebre na aba edwa so na the Food and Drugs Authority FDA wo de one stamp no esesu kanya ya mogabe meneme angels yi eno ane nyina so age atom no AS natural mineral water upedudu na tu afo ne kire eye Power FM ene TVS wazet ha ye wo 246 Abebese Street ewu usu obetimi afre 0540 585 599 ofa amotofu ya nsu edudu obi apebia no nsa betumi aka Nis microfinance menka ntro so we obi a we aban adwuma bosume so a waketu afa control and accountant general department ebema obisa na de di udwuma bese de bema wono so ne de wo mu ne say hidden charges bi anim commitment fee bi anim and a processing fee bi anim tie nie ye nyina ba bi anka se betu eskansa na ya processing wo no e de amount obi ko gyina ba bi na okasa say the Panama Post for enchino say Nis microfinance de you processing wo no ma wa untua kapreba na interest rate so abetua no e kakra bi we obi a private worker di yan se wadwuma wura bedi agina mu ama wa se oh nipa menene na ye adwuma ogiska na obitimi atua eno ano no wodo ani a kire eye dome born again bus stop ye ne man Zion Methodist Church no na edi enhwe ni mu obitimi afre na ne atwetwe nkomo 055 501 0699 ofre na Nis microfinance ye beje wo so na bibia nso etimi akonkan kama ede ama ebi awo ya ene enwumre waje akonya woda mpem ya wo hwe life no jumedi ato di se Gumbe Show na yede ebrewo tiene yenua eye Dr. Sule Ibrahim oye security analyst na etwetwe enkomo sabe yebedosko ne afi yefi bambomu ne ahwe CDD report ya eno so aba abitu dwa say about 62% of Ghanaians na esusi say Nana Akufo-Addo enya ade say ne fight against a corruption no ebetumi aye adwuma security expert
day in day out reports number we share the Auditor General release here you action be a free any state institution response to that. So a DNA population embedded in their mind respect to it. So what the report comes every day. you action be a day. It dealing with an Sebia state agency, be say the president has spoken, say this and this or that is working on it. Once the population is not seeing any action, definitely there's no way to meet my confidence the leader is willing to do it. And the good professor from Kenya, Lumumba, he talked about it. A whole loss of confidence and trust, because the kind of perception when the change of government in 2017 is that at least this is a man with experience.
Yeah.
And you need such a person at this critical moment to do something. But day in, day out, reporting about action being followed, what should the citizen do? So definitely you should expect this kind of rating out all the time. And I will not be surprised, Transparency International about confirming this kind of reports.
So be a Ghana for our trust looking at his age, 77 years. Two for Munina, Casa baby, when you agree, first can you the answer be a Jumana be deeper. I mean, we're busy and your boss on my over 300 billion in less than 5 years. There's there is nothing out there to show, say, Papa buy a hospital, a clinic, a school, a rose, and I'll bet you, say, we scour J, win, anywhere. I mean, you should toy where the whole of this country, areas are air flooded, recently, Kumasi, Nipa Bay 9, and a few Omonko, a cry, and so to be a Nipa Wu, any other, abandoned me, be a farm. What is a Sputnik, almost ye, a Japan, almost ye, PDS, was woman. Now, head your cost to ya. President on Suban was a BD, one yao. So, Ajimamen, more church, you know. I mean, near Fabian saying near to millions of dollars. Are we serious as a country?
Sometimes, we now report the details about say you begin to ask or more report to the president. Do they actually give him the right picture, the right situation? Said the cost rate. Is it the right data the president gets? If he gets the right data and it's not acting in the way the expectations are going, then it becomes worry. That's one side. But the other side is the bottom line comes down to the way a political party in your power. Party financing. Once you come to power through the financiers of other people, and then you get in a mistake about out, say, who allow one particular event a go scot-free, then you create a problem and other events will follow. So one corruption is reported, and that's one dealing with it very strictly, instantly. The other ones they follow. There's no way which may deal with it. So from day one, a certain corrupt acts were going on that we did not get the measured response. And once a year get that measured response, other ones I follow no. It didn't obey me.
Well, Osha a year Martin Amidu and some other buyer describing the president as mother serpent of corruption. Osha Domlevo a coin homophile so Auditor General Omuyi free a year office. I mean, always animal winning and say, is the president ready to fight corruption in the country?
That's the case as a president and Casano. So when Timia yet the deal to analyze by himself, and it's been a year analysis that the man Eddie feeding. Listen, if chrono, I'm managing the right data. There's no way we'll be successful. And there's no way Sebio Weber Altababa agree with the public compared to agreeing with the Nipana or report on Eddie Manono. So we need to look at it beyond just the president not acting, but also look at it say, Nipana wano muye jumano. What is the attitude towards corruption?
So share a year on my beer. Dear na man mebunu ni time sorry. Sekata se she proye. No sa manfo e disika. Bibia enkoso. Yedi ensa bom family and friends. Weje waha. Bibia enkoso. Ayaresabia eni ho. Schools eni ho. Emofre tifie. Enyi seya no mo betre fia omo enyem. Dear na sa man no si antutu ye neme ye ebeti na to ye.
It's uprising here when we were Arab Spring. Because a body up so much in the population. One day it will just burst out spontaneously. And it will be very difficult, so a bit more control from that level. Once the people become so fed up with it, so bursted out in themselves, There's no way you can control it. And corruption is one thing, I said, not just in Africa, but around the world, I've collapsed so many governments. Corruption is not something I said, you play with it. Or you play with it, then I said, you're putting the country in jeopardy.
Only recently, a year you to a sorry Ghana, so face the country, face the country, face the country. I mean, President knows what Ghana 1 week or better 3 weeks. I mean, why are you ready? Sir, Oberboy and home buying now Katasha prayer echoes to me abrasi.
It's the readiness and non-readiness we explained by say you've demonstrated and what was the response from the state to it.
Fantastic.
So that's where there's because you've presented certain ideas and challenge you more. If there's a readiness from the system to address those responses, was there any statement? What was the response from government circle to this kind of message you've presented here? We have all overlooked it. But we forget to say it will come back again. Because the next time, no, be an ababia other things at the moment. So, our measure the readiness will be address the youth question based on the response what the youth who demonstrated and the generality of the issues are if insecurity, majority of them are the youth, but there is no commentary or any action coming from the quarters of political leadership. There's no way so to make us there is that commitment to dealing with some of these youth questions.
Didn't bet me a manipa a lose hope. Oh, be more. Say, Obiti say Professor Patrick Lumumba. Ya ubi any mkwaya ofaso kasa all over the world. Na ene Obiti member out boldly to say we are disappointed.
So, on no can say mismatch between the worker and the warrior. Who catch them and say, Yena, oh, you bet Yena enter Hanamo. Now, the next time who say what at the comfort area, then I cannot trust the next time who can say Yena enter. But so the worker, it differs from the warrior in a more than so your thought. Your words and your action have to match. If the three are not matching, there's no way people can trust you.
Very well. You're moving on from that now, and finally, you share the closure of a year and our brothers. Last week, demonstration is here a year voter region, Kitty South. Now you heard and then so the Akoso, Jomoro, Zeman land in the western region of the Republic of Ghana. Open our borders. If we say 8 million land, now more for a year a war borders I would do Ghana Cote d'Ivoire border, Ghana a year Togo border, Omo Edja Ekoba any day. I mean from COVID STT, your close borders now from Sabria say you see COVID or election beba there. I mean those in the voter region of the Republic of Ghana and those on the borders of a year western part of the country, you know, Omunina Edaso, you want to me anyone you may dear say you would you say call now more calling is this step in the right direction?
Of course it's a step because they will feel alienated. Their livelihoods are dependent on the activities from the border. So we close the border no, for more than a year. Even so opinion crana, at least periodically let them know say you are aware of what they are doing. You are aware, say, at least there were negative implications, I say negative impacts on them. So, say, all the long, for 1 year, border not close, so young country, the president is not saying anything, and I say, be a minister being country. Now, month for go through this kind of crisis. It's their legitimate right as citizens of the republic, and I'm just a constitution also guarantees, say, they have to ask for it. So I think it's within their right, and since those who open and not some open, they have to look at it also within the science of the virus. Is it true that the land borders, people among former free land borders and they will spread the virus more than some free outside and they plane air? So we have to be honest to ourselves as a country. Say, between the two are coming from outside, and Yeni two or my be free to go bananas.
So see numbers in actually 1,000.
So ideally, Togo for the bebane is a mayan cross. So they have to speak to the science of the virus. So okay, land border crossing and the best spread on more than say those who are coming from outside. We have to be honest with ourselves because that's the livelihoods of the people, and the generality of the people are those at the bottom.
Well, finally, message being now the Magana for a show when you bring on TV as was a Gumbe Show.
My message Jamaican say security is shared responsibility.
Fantastic.
We have demands say omo say omo yomo die na omo yomo die. Na yenso ya wose ye chepan so yenso be ye die. At the societal level no wose timi be the eboy ye ne ahoban. Obi ne yete na ne suban eye ibia ye doubt her. We have everything to ask questions. Untimi ntra hon mu din se bia nipa no one to krom who suspicious but one who you free all the time. If you dey see our besimia nipa wotime yi onu na but onu ne nua na damfo pa eba e dia ka ho. Then you need to be careful. People are so close to you. Omo so close, trying to play down with you. But if you baby ni fie no cry sina. How often do you go there compared to how often does he come to your house? So you have to be careful with the people that you relate with. Fantastic. And no be necessary to build that kind of trust. But taking outside the people, the bulk also comes to leadership. And leadership, I'm not talking about just the political leadership. That's very important.
But the religious?
The religious leadership is part. The customer leadership is part.
Fantastic.
And the bulk of the problem also comes to the economic, it comes to the politics, and it comes to the socio-cultural.
Fantastic.
So if these three angles are not dealt with properly with respect to this thing, then, so dear Professor Eka said, we will expect more of this crisis. I will not doubt with what he has said.
Fantastic. Well, Dr. Sule Ibrahim, security analyst, the better I say for your time this evening on the Gumbe Show, TVS was it. I may add my medicine when I to answer Afro. In a fantastic way. I mean, inshallah, Papa. The better will be out to me, Jibre, Yasimo, to me, Efre, Ebemo, any a young penifua, a large Masaudu, so free America, Wababi, Ghana, a salam down a large Masaudu. Yamia Duma say Chief Buju, ne Papa, a yeno. Yamia Duma Saturday, a war, a year, Central Mosque war, a year, Fofui Kura, ya Aba or Kaukudi. When a baby a bit me across and say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama so any penifo bibli ebewo so and a governor of the Fala in West Africa Araji Tanko aka Dollar and name penifo bibli chief imamo and in penifo bibli and ebewo a ye no ase yaba no say COVID-19 no ode ebedi juma na protocol no aye ejuma elho Alaji Sani senior Kevin Asante champion producer say enenwumre Kese ma ofa odike miame aye kwesi adai ono say me ofa say me show life many agi dwumedi no yiye papa medo obi ase aboa ma dwumedi ni timi wie peye enua aboaje TV director tuto ne mama bibia ekonkan fantastic team yenua Ima Prince Sector ene Raf Kofi the boy ene Kofi the boy make up nyina be ma na ye Kofi the boy Obana Chireno, to know how to make a kama. Kofi the boy, fantastic job. Bedamo nyina security for what you nyina nso yedamo ase. No penny a twins affair no, your dear needy Edemaya to me a Dr. Sule Ibrahim, security analyst. Prince any team akanya bedo bibia ase. Executive producer Sabeni Antin so aseda kese enko emfa emma. Me am did you made in which me Ede Mugabe. I say, chief producer, hey, to near my church, near my producer, champion, and say, Kevin Asante, and any deputy, so, Emmanuel Soa. The video will be asked, about the Domia, which I bono me, it is share our power 97.9 FM, our inside politics, you may say. I thank you, Biga, Mugabe, Mase, Mamunina, Munity.